Our afternoon, Todd.
Hi, Sophie. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. Now, can you go through some of your concerns then for these plans about Gatwick?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was a pilot based at Gatwick, actually, so I know the airport very well. And I'm now in part of a community of aviation workers called Safe Landing. And ultimately, what we believe is if we continue to grow the aviation industry and expand the aviation industry at the rate that is planned, then we are likely to see a much bigger crash to the market than what we witnessed during the pandemic. Ultimately, we're accelerating towards the proverbial cliff edge. We're not taking our foot off the gas. And as aviation workers, we're trained to think free from bias, to mitigate risk, to preserve life. If we don't stop accelerating, then ultimately we're going to either see enforced regulations or climate breakdown itself could indeed impact aviation workers. So if we truly want a sustainable future in aviation, we do need to fly less now, and we need to repurpose the runway, repurpose the airport for the genuinely clean, green, new generation aircraft that will come sometime in the future, but that's absolutely not what Gatwick are doing.
And I mean, the others will say the argument is that how is this going to provide for our economy with more money, better business, more jobs? Would you say to that?
I mean, well, actually, there was a report that was looked at Gatwick Airport jobs specifically, and many more jobs can be created if those jobs, most of the jobs were transitioned into the green economy. Ultimately, there is no profit on a dead planet. We are in this critical moment for all life on Earth, and to be blindly just continuing to grow such a polluting, expansive industry in this time is absolutely absurd. And I say that with a heavy heart. I grew up on a council estate. I wanted to be a pilot since I was 5 years old. It was my absolute dream, and I'd much rather be flying right now. But we are where we're at. And we need to be taking this absolutely seriously. And ultimately, they're just, we've already hit 1.5 degrees over a global average. And, we actually want to go flying to enjoy these destinations, and they're ultimately going to become unvisitable as coral reef breaks down at 2 degrees. The entire coral reef system will be bleached, and there's going to be, wars, famine and drought. So the true cost of climate impact is never actually counted into the economic system, and people are just continuing on in their old sort of dinosaur way of thinking.
So what would your message be then today to the airport? Would you be happy with this plan if, for example, more concessions were made, or would you like it to be scrapped altogether?
I think right now, as things stand, there is no technology. We've got so much greenwash coming from the industry, so many lies that are ultimately infecting the minds of employees as well as the general public. The only meaningful action we can take right now is to fly less. 77% of the UK public wouldn't need to change their travel habits at all if frequent flyers, first class travellers and private jet users did their part. So it doesn't affect the ordinary person. However, if we continue to expand, we believe there will be a much bigger crash to the job market than what we witnessed during the pandemic, and that's not good for anyone.
Todd, it's been really interesting to chat to you as an ex-airline pilot and someone who speaks so passionately about it. That's Todd Smith.